Well, that was weird. I guess they were kind of swept by the O's in a way.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Not
Gen
technically,
bad.
but they lost both games of a 2-game set, then had an off day, but they have another series starting today. We're going to talk about all of that because it's Locked On Blue Jays and because it starts right now.
You are Locked On Blue Jays, your daily Toronto Blue Jays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Blue Jays. Thanks so much for making us your first listen every day. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Odyssey, YouTube, Twitter at Locked On Jays, and our Gmail, Locked On Blue Jays Real. He's Matt Bonaparte. I'm Ben Shulman. Appreciate you tuning in to this Friday morning episode as part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Do we have any emails, Bones? I know
We
you
do
might
not have any emails.
We do not have any emails. So email us. LockedOnBlueJaysReal, REAL, at gmail.com. Let's get into this series recap. A really odd one. It turns into a 2-game set because of the postponement makeup game coming up in about a month. And the Blue Jays lose both pretty close. Bones, I hand it to you. What is your storyline?
Storyline is you gotta stop losing to the Orioles. I mean, this is a team that sure is mounting some kind of momentum towards a wild card spot. They're not the worst team in the AL anymore like they used to be. And they're a formidable matchup at this point. But they're still the Orioles. And you just can't let them catch it because while they are talented, they're not for real in the fact that I do not think if they make the playoffs, they'll go very far. And I don't really even think they're going to make the playoffs. You got to stop losing. Because the other thing is, the Jays' schedule is so weird, or at least their play is so weird. Is they beat the really good teams, but they can't beat teams like the O's. So they just got to stop losing to Baltimore.
Yeah, they're 2-4 against the O's so far this year. And they have a lot more series coming up. So it was something people were looking forward to at one point. I mean, obviously, like you said, we didn't expect the O's to be quite the team they are right now. And they're definitely a much better team than they used to be. But still, they should be a team that the Jays should beat more than they lose to. And just, over the remainder of the season, there's still going to be, 10 more games? 13 more games against the O's. So it's a major part of the schedule considering there's only 52 more games in general. So you really got to pick up those wins. They're a quarter of your remaining games. So, yeah, I totally agree. My storyline doesn't have that much to build off of, to be honest. This was just weird. It was a weird series because of the rain delay that flipped game 2 and then the rain that postponed game 3. So it's like the baseball gods really were not in favor of the Blue Jays having fun. I know I didn't like it, but it was a weird series. And I don't even know how to fully react to it because of the effect that the elements had on it. So those are my thoughts there.
I feel you. I mean, rain delays are always weird because one team has momentum and the other team doesn't, and then you wait like a couple hours and play again.
And then the other team's up to bat, and it's
on.
like, well, now they kind of have momentum because the pitcher's been sitting for 2 hours.
Exactly. But hey, these are the things you have to deal with in baseball.
Yeah.
Rugnet Outdoors homer hurt totally. But hey, Yimi Garcia is still a good pitcher, so it's okay. Who is your MVP, dude?
My MVP goes to one Matt Chapman, who
Pegasus.
Yeah, Pegasus reached base. What was it, like 6 out of 10 times, I believe, in this series. Batted .500, had a home run, played good defense. Just continues to be solid. So, gonna give him love when I can because he's one of my favorite guys on the team. And with that game, his OPS is still hanging right around 800 with an average around 240. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, he's just getting better and better, which is lovely to see because that guy was struggling, and I was on the case about it. So I'm glad he maybe heard our pod and he took my words to heart. My MVP for this series is Bo Bichette. His numbers were fine, but it's honestly because he hit that pretty clutch homer at the time. It was clutch to take the lead. I just like watching Bo be good. So it's always easy for me to pick Bo whenever I have an opportunity, which is pretty much the reason I did. I just love watching him play well. So I go Bo for my most valuable player this series.
Yeah, 2 homers, 2 games. Hard to go against that. It's a bummer for the Jays that they end up losing it. It's not a bummer that this episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline, as you covered this season with more props on lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. And I guess, we'll bring you into the full commercial break now because I want to tell you about our friends and our new friends with Liver Health Formula. Look, today we need to learn about metabolism. The liver is the body's metabolic furnace. It's responsible for flushing out harmful toxins and igniting your fat-burning metabolism. But thanks to modern diets rich in unhealthy, processed foods and constant exposure to thousands of man-made and environmental toxins, most of us have overworked livers. But now it's easy to rejuvenate your liver health and reignite your metabolism thanks to Liver Health Formula by Pure Health Research. Liver Health Formula contains 8 liver-boosting super nutrients like turmeric, beet, and artichoke extract, all of which work together to wake up a sluggish liver and turn it into a toxin-flushing and fat-burning machine, just like Bradley Zimmer. No more bloated belly, no more uncomfortable digestion, no more feeling tired and low on energy all the time. And best of all, Liver Health Formula makes it easier to maintain a healthy body weight long term. As a listener of our show, you can try Liver Health Formula risk-free today and get a free bottle of Curb Fit with your order. Curb Fit is a safe and all-natural appetite suppressant, making it easy to say no to naughty foods. This makes it the perfect complement to Liver Health Formula. Go to liverhelp.com/MLB to learn more. That's liverhelp.com/MLB to try Liver Health Formula completely risk-free and claim your free bottle of Curb Fit with your order. Go to liverhelp.com/MLB now to get started.
Let's go. He was a Blue Jay time. If you were listening last episode, Ben's luck has just gone a complete 180. He hit 3 in a row to improve his record to, let's see,
6-6.
3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6-6 on the year now. That's nuts. Pretty
That's
much
a big day.
It's crazy. I mean, he had a 1-hitter too, which has never been done in the history of this game. He got Benji Molina on 1 hint, and then went on to get Danny Ainge as well as Francisco Liriano in the same episode. So he had a historic day on He Was a Blue Jay, and we love to see it. I will say that this episode, whichever time we finish, I have 2. Whenever we finish both of them, it is the end of season 4. So whether we want to switch back, whether we want to continue this format or try and revamp the game some way, we can figure that out in the off season between 4 and 5. But for now, this could be the end of season 4 if you get these quick. If not, season 4 probably makes it one more episode, and then we move on to season 5. If you're not familiar with the game, I take a fringe Blue Jay, a guy that if you heard was a Blue Jay, you'd say he was a Blue Jay. And I give Ben 5 hints to try and guess who it is. He gets 3 guesses per hint or 30-ish seconds. I'm quite lenient. He started out struggling hard, got the record to 6-6, and I'm hoping he only goes up from here. Are you ready, Benjamin?
I am. I'm hoping to, with only 2 left, I need to hit today to have a chance to be over 500.
That's entirely true. Okay. This pitcher debuted in 2015 as a member of the Toronto Blue Jays. I said Tarante. I'm off my rocker today. Fun fact, he was a 2011 and 2012 Orleans Firebird.
Okay, so I know he's likely not Latin American because I've been on the Cape and that's predominantly U.S. college players. So he was I know one guy who was definitely on Orleans and might have debuted in 2014. Marcus Stroman, I'm going to guess, even though I know that's not who you're talking about.
It's not Marcus Stroman.
He was an Orleans Firebird, if
I knew that. Believe it or
not mistaken. I think he debuted in 2014. But actually became a pitcher in 2015. 2015 debut. Can you read the hint again? Did you say position?
This pitcher debuted in 2015 as a member of the Toronto Blue Jays. Fun fact, 2011-2012 Firebird.
Pitcher debuted in 2015. The back end guys who both debuted that year were Osuna and Castro, who we've used, and we wouldn't use Osuna. I don't think. And he definitely wouldn't have been an Orleans Firebird. Starter that debuted. This guy didn't go to college, did he? Aaron Sanchez?
Not Aaron Sanchez. Way too much of a Blue Jay.
Yeah. Maybe he was a national. He pitched like 2 games for them this year, I think. 2015 debut pitcher. Do I have anything else coming to my head? No, let's move on.
Okay. He made 2 appearances for the Blue Jays before being dealt.
Yeesh. No, this guy would have been dealt prior to that year. Never mind. Not Kendall Graveman. I'll formally guess him just to make sure I'm not being stupid, but not Kendall Graveman.
Not Kendall Graveman.
Yeah, they traded him prior to 2015 for Josh Donaldson. Made 2 appearances and then we traded him, but he must be like somewhat prominent enough for him to get picked. Who did we trade early on enough? It's got to be a bullpen guy. All right, let's continue.
Okay. He was traded with Daniel Norris and Yairo Labor for David Price.
Oh, Matt Boyd.
It's Matt Boyd.
There we go.
Matt Boyd is the correct answer. The other hints were the last team to pay him was the San Francisco Giants. And the other hint was he was sort of the de facto, quote-unquote, ace of the Tigers after Verlander was traded in 2017, if you even want to call him that.
Yeah, that I would have got it on. I wouldn't have got it on San Francisco. I didn't remember Matt Boyd pitched for San Francisco.
He got traded right at the end. I think he might be there now, but they're paying the last part of his contract. Anyway, here's a picture of him in a Blue Jays uniform.
Yeah, Matt Boyd had a good career. Good for him. I remember when we traded him. Obviously, it made sense because we got David Price. But Matt Boyd's a good pitcher. And I believe Matt Boyd – did Matt Boyd, battle through cancer and make it to the other side?
No, Daniel Norris did.
Daniel Norris did. That's my fault. Daniel Norris did.
He also lived in a van for quite a while.
He did.
All right. We got another one. So this is the end of season 4. Are you ready?
A chance to finish 2 games up on 500 and end the season on a 5-0 run.
But you can't be if I told you after the first few games you would that you couldn't finish under 500, you wouldn't believe me.
Yeah, you're right.
So you got to.
I just knocked on wood because I just made a big call. I don't want to jinx it. Finish 500. That's lame.
Sure. All right. This catcher debuted in 2007.
This catcher, JP Arancibia.
Nope.
Yan Gomes.
Nope.
Mike Napoli.
Nope. He played for 7 teams throughout his career. You'll remember him most for his time in the AL East and the AL West.
He played for 7 teams in his career. And I'll remember him most for his time in the AL East and AL West. Now, at hint 1, you didn't say debuted with the Jays, right? You just said debuted.
I did not.
So he debuted in 07. He's not necessarily famous for being a Jays catcher. But if he didn't, he was with someone else in the AL East. And then AL West, Jays catcher who's been an Angels catcher for a while. No. Been an A's catcher for a while. No. Seattle. Texas? Do we have a Texas catcher?
Did you have a Texas catcher?
Let's move
an
on.
A's catcher. Okay.
Let's move on.
He was a switch hitter.
Oh, I should definitely know who it is.
I'll run through the hints real quick. Catcher debuted in 2007. Played for 7 teams throughout his career, and you'll remember him most from his time in the AL East and AL West, and he was a switch hitter.
Switch hitting catcher.
Yeah, man. This guy, he could slam it from both sides of the plate.
Who was a switch hitting catcher?
Looking at a picture of him right now.
He's probably looking great.
Sure. Maybe he looks terrible. You have no idea. That's too much of a hint to give away.
You told me he looks great, and immediately I'm just like, Carlos Ruiz, Let's keep moving on. I can't think of.
Okay. He won a World Series in the early 2010s.
He won a World Series in the early 2010s. I mean, it wouldn't have been with Texas.
That's correct. It was not with Texas.
Although that was,
I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, they've never won one. But in the early, so maybe it was with the Red Sox in 2013. Who was catching? Like Saltalamacchia ends up being a J, but we've already done him. Nor is he a switch hitter, as far as I'm aware. Could have been a 2013 Red Sox. It's not Saltalamacchia.
All right.
Hmm?
We never did Jared Saltalamacchia.
Jared Saltalamacchia.
It's Jared Saltalamacchia.
I thought we did.
You
That's my bad.
scared me for a second there. I was like, no way I picked a guy.
Did you check the list?
Yeah, I checked the list.
Okay, cool.
But I was shook right there.
I trust you.
It's Jared Saltalamacchia.
I wonder, at a certain point, I wrote down a bunch of names and I didn't end up writing hints for all of them. And I wonder if Salty ever came up on that.
Played 10 games. There he is.
Yeah, I remember, of all the guys we do on this that play like less than a month, I vividly remember Jared Saltalamacchia being the Jays catcher because it was so random.
Yep,
he and Clay Buchholz have both been Jays, and I was like, this is weird.
He was not a very good Blue Jay in 2017. He had 1 hit in 26 plate appearances. He walked once, struck out 16 times. Really not very good. He finished with a 117 OPS.
Well, he could have been Daniel Vogelbach, traded after 2 games.
It's true. That's a fact. All right. Well, let me tell you about. Well, first, you're 8-6 on the season. That's pretty darn good. I'm proud of you. Give you a little hand. Proud of you, man.
5-0 run to end the year. I was 2-5 at one point. The exact record I didn't want. So
yeah,
extended 6-1.
So you finished on a huge win streak. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Let me tell you about Blue Nile. At Blue Nile, you can celebrate all of life's special moments, from creating the custom engagement ring of your partner's dreams to gifting a classic and timeless jewelry piece, all at prices you won't find at a traditional jeweler. Whether you're ready to pop the question or you're celebrating a milestone moment, go get jewelry as unique as your partner with the modern convenience of online shopping at BlueNile.com. Make your moments sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And going on now is the Blue Nile Anniversary Sale. Save up to 40% on classic fine jewelry pieces and 25% on engagement ring settings. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today. But that's not all. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Find all your favorite sports and events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. Find reviews and news of every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. And BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports wagering information, from live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts. They have you covered. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. BetOnline, where the game starts. And we're back.
We are back for one more series. It is the Guardian series before the O's again. Yeesh. The Cleveland Guardians, if people have not been paying attention to the standings, last I checked, I didn't see the games last night, if I'm going to be honest. Yeah, they are the division leader in the Central by a game and a half. They've won 5 in a row, so they're hot. This is not a walkover series. This is a really good team that stacks up really good pitching against the Blue Jays. Let's start with your scary bones. Who you got?
Stephen Kwan is my scary. At the beginning of the year, you might remember this guy because he hadn't swung and missed in like a ton of plate appearances or something. Like
It was at least 81 plate appearances, I think.
Like, that's insane. He didn't swing and miss. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I mean, this guy is a contact hitter through and through. And if you know me, you know that's something I absolutely love. In his last 23 games, he's got a hit in 22 of them. And in that time, 34 hits in 23 games, 7 doubles, a triple, couple homers. Not a huge amount of RBIs, but he's at the top of the lineup. So what do you want from him? 9 walks, and he's hitting .354 with a .920 OPS in that time. Stephen Kwan might be my hero. I love this man. I think he's fantastic for the game, and I think he's going to be a pestering kind of player against the Jays just because he's an on-base machine.
Yeah, I don't know why I remember this, but he was my scary way back when they played them. So, and it worked out pretty well for me. So I will definitely agree with you there. Stephen Kwan is an annoying hitter to go up against. Considering you did my scary from way back when, I'm going to do the same as yours. I'm picking Tristan Mckenzie as my scary. And partially because the pitching stacks up amazing for the Guardians in the series. They have Quantrill, Bieber, and McKenzie going. And I think our listeners definitely know Bieber. He won Cy Young. I think they'd probably know Quantrill. He's Canadian. He's the son of Paul Quantrill. So I bet the one they maybe know the least about, still probably know about him, but know the least about, is Tristan Mckenzie, who's having a fantastic year. Low 3s ERA. And he already started against the Blue Jays this year as part of the doubleheader the Jays played against the Guardians after another rainout. And in that game, he gave up 2 early runs to the Jays, but then went 6 innings and struck out 6. Those were the only runs he gave up, and he beat the Jays 8-2. So he's really dangerous. And it's not like, okay, if you lost to Bieber, you'll go pick it up the next day. Tristan Mckenzie versus Mitch White definitely puts the Jays at a disadvantage, and it's kind of reminiscent of him pitching against Ross Stripling when he beat the Jays 8-2 way back when.
McKenzie's so cool, dude.
Yeah,
he's an awesome guy.
Awesome guy too, like all over YouTube and stuff. You can see videos of him. Just cool.
If I wanted any like opposing team's jersey, it's probably Tristan Mckenzie. Like, he's so cool.
Wow.
I think he's awesome.
I'm thinking of a Vogelbach Mets, but I'm not sure.
I couldn't possibly wear a Mets jersey. But
I know you
go right ahead.
I know you. Vogie's kind of my hero. I'd get
a Blue Jays Vogelbach jersey before anything else,
which would be sick. I might also get a Rowdy Tellez Brew Crew. That's another one that's on my mind because Rowdy's just killing it, and I love him.
He's great. You gotta love him.
Speaking of Blue Jays, we love. Who's your hype train?
Hype train for me will be Teoscar Hernandez. Teoscar Hernandez, very good against Cleveland in his career. He's got a few homers against the Guardians and .812 OPS all time when playing at or home I was going to say at Progressive Field, but I guess he doesn't only play at Progressive Field.
Yeah.
But he likes playing this team. And I think it's probably partly because he's just such a good hitter. But like I said a couple pods ago, like this guy is just flying under the radar because he had a tough time at the beginning of the year coming off of an injury, but has just slowly been collecting hits and hitting homers and just being an absolute force. So Teoscar Hernandez, I predict to go back to the Rogers Center to play Cleveland and just absolutely annihilate them with his mighty bat.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a deeper philosophical question that we'll probably have later in the year when awards are more of the discussion. But if you take Aaron Judge as a center fielder, which I really think you should, and if you take Yordan Alvarez as a DH, which I really think you should, then Teoscar's like up there and in the conversation as like the best right fielder in the American League, because it's actually a really shallow position outside of Judge and Alvarez, and it's kind of like a Kyle Tucker and Teoscar competition. I'm sure I'm forgetting one guy, but yeah, Teo's having a phenomenal year. He was someone I gravitated to. I can remember, I think he returned in the Cleveland series from injury, or it was close to when he came back, and he was pretty good in the series despite the fact that he didn't end up having a great start. So yeah, I like that. He was someone I looked toward, but I'm going to go back to the guy who I named my series MVP for my hype train. I'm going to hope the train keeps rolling for Matt Chapman because it has been rolling for a while now. He had that crazy hot stretch. He went a little cold for like a week, and now he's still hitting well, and that's what you like to see, even if he's not hitting the ball out of the park every game. It's more consistent now. And, you know, last month for him, if you still want to look at that, pretty crazy numbers, 325 average, team lead with 9 home runs, 1.132 OPS, by far leads the team. Vladdy's second at 982. So having a great month and rakes against the Guardians. You could make the case that the Guardians are the team that Chapman has hit the best against in his entire career. It's his 4th highest OPS against any team with a 1.016. But the 3 teams above are the Mets, who he's played 3 games against, the Pirates, who he's played 3 games against, and the Cardinals, the Athletics, who he's played 6 games against. He's played 21 games against the Guardians to accrue that 1,000 OPS. In those 21 games, he has 12 extra base hits, 7 doubles, 4 homers, and a triple. How about that? And has also walked pretty much as he struck out against them. So he's just got something going on against the Guardians, and I hope that he can keep that going on coming up this weekend. But yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I got too, man. But Monday, we're back.
Yeah, thanks so much for making us first listen today. We'll be back on Monday. We will be previewing another O's series at that point. And maybe we'll have some more answers on the future if he was a Blue Jay. We'll let you know. Kind of like the baseball reference name game, there is like a finite lifetime to he was a Blue Jay where like we could pick guys, but at a certain point, they're not interesting and no one's going to know them. So we'll see what goes on with that. But for now, make your second listen the Locked On MLB podcast with MLB expert Paul Francis Sullivan, PFS, who brings humor, passion, and a unique perspective on every team and the biggest stories around the league. Follow the #1 daily league-wide podcast, Locked On MLB, on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to leave us a like, a rating, a follow. Email us, lockedonbluejaysreal@gmail.com. But for now, he's Matt Bonaparte. I'm Ben Shulman. Thank you so much, and we will see you on Monday.